How in the world is Nike not going full on Caitlin Clark phenomenon? You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this.
Nike's sales for the current quarter is likely to decline more sharply than experts anticipated, causing shares to fall 5% in after-hours trading on Thursday.
Such star power on those teams, it's really no surprise they're atop the list for the most games available for you to check out on a national scale. The Fever, they lead the league with 41 games here, followed by the Aces 33, the champion Liberty at 32.
Fans of Caitlin Clark, who is one of the most marketable stars on the planet under an 8-year contract, naturally flooded social media to lower the boom if only Nike had signed a generational talent selling out 20,000-seat arenas in minutes. Yes, Nike put Caitlin Clark on billboards and even in a Super Bowl commercial, but when it comes to giving her her own sneaker, crickets. Nike just announced an earnings drop, and it wasn't pretty. Nike is busy releasing sneakers for other athletes in the interim. Clark's fans were perplexed by Asia Wilson's one line before Caitlin's, and even a special edition for college standout Paige Beckers.
It's definitely an industry now. Like we're actually watching this thing grow on the daily.
There must be more to the story, but first, hit the like button if you believe that a Caitlin Clark signature sneaker would be their best-selling item. Nike, the renowned shoe giant, has seen its sales growth stutter over the past year. In its most recent fiscal period, Nike's revenue fell about 9% year-over-year to $11. This seems like the obvious answer to Nike sales staring them in the face. $27 billion. Profits fell even more sharply, with earnings per share down 30%, marking its worst decrease in 5 years. The decline wasn't an isolated incident. Nike cautioned that the proportion could drop to the mid-teens in the upcoming quarter. What is causing Nike's fall in revenue? The business acknowledged making a few strategic errors. The once groundbreaking Air Jordan, Air Force One, and Dunk lines have become a little bland due to an overemphasis on fashionable lifestyle shoes and a lack of new innovation in performance footwear. After carrying the brand for so long, new product development slowed down, old inventory piled up, and Nike lost its obsessive focus on sport that built its empire. In other words, the swoosh needs something new and fresh to grab consumers' attention once more. It's almost like Nike is pleading for a hot new product associated with a superstar athlete to breathe new life into the brand.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark and Nike, and I gotta tell you, now fans are starting to wonder, is Nike just doing this on purpose?
And that's why Caitlin Clark supporters are currently sending it to Nike. They see the exact chance and are upset that Nike hasn't seized it yet. News feeds were affected by Nike's poor revenues. Fans of Caitlin Clark took to social media, posting things like, Nike has the most marketable sports star in Caitlin Clark, and posts that they are run by idiots. Ouch. The message was clear. You're sitting on a golden goose, Nike. Do something with her. Why are fans and some investors so convinced Caitlin Clark could be Nike's savior? Every bit of evidence suggests this 23-year-old phenom is a marketing juggernaut. Let's start with her deal. Caitlin signed an unprecedented 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike in April 2024, which is the richest shoe deal in women's basketball history. Notably, the contract includes a signature shoe line for her. Nike obviously knew she was unique, locking her in despite a bidding war between Under Armour and Adidas for her endorsement.
So, yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, you just know that the shoe is going to sell out, and you're scared that Nike are really just going to fumble the bag.
When selecting Nike, fans anticipated that with that amount of investment, Nike would immediately give her shoe top attention, but Caitlin remained loyal to the legendary brand she has been with since 2022.
She signed an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal with Nike in April of last year, making it the largest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player.
After all, Caitlin Clark was a cultural phenomenon because to her 2024 national championship appearance against South Carolina and her famous buzz from college. She wasn't just a talented NCAA player. By the time she left Iowa, Caitlin had amassed 18.9 million viewers. She was the all-time top scorer in D1 history for both men's and women's teams, and she had a national profile comparable to that of top male athletes. As a result, on the day she became the #1 draft pick in the WNBA, she already had a sizable fan base ready to open their wallets, and they did so in her 2024 WNBA rookie season, smashed attendance and viewership records. The Indiana Fever was changed by the Caitlin Clark effect. In 2024, the Fever, a team that had previously been a league seller, drew nearly 177,000 fans at home games, the greatest average attendance in WNBA history. To put that in context, more people attended Caitlin's games in Indiana than the NBA's Pacers. On average, yes, the excitement outnumbered their NBA counterpart in the same city. She herself drew over 500,000 spectators to both home and away games, making her an unprecedented TV personality. The WNBA's 2024 season was the most watched in more than 20 years, with over 54 million people across all networks. Caitlin was front and center in many of the highest-rated broadcasts. In fact, the two most watched WNBA games on ABC ever took place in 2024. One drew 2.23 million viewers and another one, 71 million, and both featured Caitlin's Fever. CBS's most watched game of the regular season reached 2.25 million viewers. Basically, whenever Clark played, TV networks saw NBA-level numbers tuning in, so their TV partners swiftly changed their strategy for 2025.
Winding down. Are they going to get the ball up in time? Clark for the win. Yeah! She does it time and time again.
The Fever will have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised or streamed in 2025, which is by far the most of any team in history. In contrast, Aya Wilson's Las Vegas Aces will have 33 national games, while the reigning champion New York Liberty will have 33. At 32, Breanna Stewart's squad, if it isn't sufficient, take a look at fan enthusiasm and merchandise directly led to record-breaking online sales of WNBA gear, up 61% from the previous year. Guess which jersey topped the list? In 2024, Caitlin Clark's jersey was the bestseller. In fact, rookies dominated the merchandise charts. Angel Reese, another rookie in 2024, was ranked #2. Surprisingly, Caitlin's college teammate Kate Martin, a rookie role player, was ranked #4, even higher than established superstar A'ja Wilson, who was ranked #5. Consider that Wilson was trailing a rookie who averaged 3 points per game in jersey sales because Martin played with Caitlin in college and Iowa fans snatched up her gear. The Caitlin Clark effect is so strong that even rookies on other teams saw a surge in sales. Naturally, Clark's own Fever gear was flying off shelves across the country.
First in the league in fast break points. Clark connects on a deep three.
She also started a massive trading card craze. Her autographed rookie card sold for a record price for any WNBA card, and after she graduated, her Iowa College jersey even became a hot item. In addition, she had endorsements and cultural impact. By the end of 2024, Caitlin had signed deals with Nike, State Farm, Bose, Buick, Gatorade, and other companies. The Sports Business Journal named her the best sports business athlete of 2024, making her the most marketable and influential athlete in sports. An international sports media ranking of Sports Pro's 50 most marketable athletes ranked Caitlin Clark as the 4th most marketable athlete in the world in 2024. She was ranked above global icons like Messi, Mbappe, and Ronaldo for a WNBA rookie on a $75,000 base salary, which is almost absurd and highlights how explosive her popularity is right now.
LeBron had a shoe going into his first season. They didn't skip a beat. So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlin?
To put it briefly, Caitlin Clark is a walking goldmine when it comes to ticket sales, TV ratings, merchandise sponsorships, and more. She has captured the attention of casual sports fans like no other female hooper before her, and she is being compared to the biggest names in sports. If you're Nike, this is the kind of athlete who gets a signature shoe right away.
It's going to inspire girls. Women are going to buy them. Little girls are going to buy them. So are dudes. A lot of dudes are going to buy Caitlin Clark kicks. And I think that continues to get missed in the discussion is how many men Caitlin Clark brought over to the WNBA and women's basketball.
In 1985, Michael Jordan launched a billion-dollar sneaker line after receiving his first pair of Air Jordans. In his debut NBA season in 2003, LeBron James led the Nike Air Zoom generation. These players were considered once-in-a-generation talents, and Nike quickly transformed them into shoe-selling superstars by every standard. Caitlin is on that trajectory. She led the league in assists and set the single-season assists record while averaging 19.2 points, which is perhaps most impressive. She nearly unanimously won Rookie of the Year for the WNBA first team in her rookie season and even finished fourth in the MVP voting, which is practically unheard of for a first-year player. If there was ever a player to fast-track with a shoe deal like Al LeBron or Michael Jordan, she quickly turned a Fever squad that had been 5 and 312 years earlier into a playoff team in 2024. Since Caitlin Clark is arguably the hottest athlete in America and millions of young fans are eager to purchase anything she wears, fans naturally expected Nike to profit from her signing as soon as possible. If not on the first day of her rookie season, how could it not be? Nike acknowledged that her shoe line was a part of the deal, so why in the world would you wait?
That's pretty much it. Like, I'll stand by this. If she was with any other brand, she would already have had a signature shoe. And it does take 2 years to bring up a shoe from scratch. I'll admit that. But like, they could have done what Kawhi did with New Balance.
However, in December 2024, Nike released the GT Hustle 3 Paige Becker edition, making Paige the first college athlete with her own Nike Player Edition sneaker. To be clear, this was a special colorway of an existing model rather than a completely new signature line, but it was heavily promoted and sold out to hype beast-level demand that fans couldn't help. In contrast, Caitlin's signature sneaker hasn't yet hit the market. But really, Nike is giving Paige a shoe before Caitlin, who recently had the most historic rookie year ever. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson, the current MVP of the WNBA and a Nike athlete since 2018, has been working on Wilson's first signature shoe called the A1, and Nike decided to debut it before Clark's. In fact, the A'ja Wilson A1s are scheduled to hit stores in May 2025, so by this summer, A'ja will join Sabrina Ionescu as one of the few WNBA players with an active signature shoe line. In January, Nike's CEO Elliott Hill provided a brief update, stating that Caitlin was at Nike headquarters creating her shoe design logo. However, he did not provide a release date or schedule, and all indications and rumors point to the possibility that we will have to wait until 2026.
It seems to me that it is more on the political side as to why Caitlin Clark is not getting the praise, the commercials, the ads, the merch, like all of the things that she should have gotten during this rookie season.
This delay seems absurd from a commercial standpoint, like leaving free money on the table. It's easy to call Nike idiots, as many fans did, but Nike is usually pretty shrewd. There must be a calculated reason for this, even though we might disagree. Nike's sales are literally declining right now, and here they have a product guaranteed to be a bestseller whenever it appears. A Caitlin Clark sneaker and apparel line would crush it in today's market. Fans are practically begging to throw their money at Nike for Caitlin gear.
Seriously, what happened to this company? Y'all used to be about making money. Now all you care about is not hurting feelings.
Aya Wilson, a 3-time WNBA MVP and 2-time champion who has been a Nike athlete for years and has been waiting patiently for her turn at a signature shoe, could be one cause. The situation's optics also take into account Nike's current roster of women's basketball players. The Nike Sabrina shoe was released in the middle of 2023, and Sabrina Ionescu received hers first. A'ja was next in line. If Nike had bypassed A'ja and expedited Caitlin's shoe before hers, it might have caused a significant internal rift. Nike takes pride in helping all of its players, so passing over a distinguished veteran like Wilson in favor of the newcomer might damage the company's reputation and clientele.
And I think that the backlash that has come from the Nike deal, if you will, has been fans of Clark wondering, like, why aren't you like celebrating the fact that you have Caitlin Clark, Nike? You know, you have maybe the most popular basketball player in the world, period.
Although it might be the best financial decision, it would appear disrespectful on the outside. I don't need to explain why Caitlin is receiving more attention than other players. Just know that the PR optics would have been cruel if they had let Asia go first. Even though Caitlyn's shoe might outsell Asia by a wide margin, Nike respects her achievements and won't undermine their 3-time MVP. This dilemma also reflects a larger issue in the WNBA ecosystem, recognizing Caitlyn's dominance without devaluing others.
Speaking of United Center, it'll also play host to a pair of WNBA games for the first time this season. The Sky announcing their matchups, hosting the Indiana Fever.
The league is aware that Caitlin Clark is the main attraction. Just follow the money and scheduling. However, you won't often hear WNBA officials openly claim that Caitlin Clark is driving the surge. Instead, they carefully promote everyone, even when their actions, like that packed TV schedule, scream Caitlin's name. There's a sense that publicly crowning her could breed resentment among other players who have been stars in their own right. We've already witnessed some established players and their fan bases bristle at the idea that a rookie received all this attention. Even when a rookie steals the show, the WNBA and its teams must ensure that every athlete feels appreciated.
He reports Nike wants to prioritize Asia Wilson, and it fears the optics of giving a rookie a signature shoe before an already established star who just won league MVP for the 3rd time.
Here's an amusing illustration. In order to accommodate the Caitlyn crowd, a number of teams with forthcoming Fever games discreetly transferred those games to larger arenas. For example, rather than claiming that Caitlyn will draw a sizable audience, the Atlanta Dream moved their 2025 home opener versus Indiana from a 3,500-seat arena to the almost 177,000-seat State Farm Arena. The owner of Dreams used a scheduling difficulty at the smaller arena as a justification, but fans mocked the team online, speculating that Caitlin Clark's new moniker must be scheduling conflict. One fan even said, "The point is that the league and teams frequently go to great lengths to avoid overtly elevating one player, even when she is the clear driving force." It's a delicate balancing act of egos and optics to celebrate Caitlyn's impact while maintaining the narrative that it's about more than just one player. The arena's calendar was booked that night to prove nothing else was booked. This is known as Clark derangement syndrome among WNBA owners. While it's easy to focus entirely on Caitlyn, Nike may be playing a similar long game because they too have a portfolio of athletes and a brand image to manage. They also need to maintain relationships and narratives for other athletes.
Before the Liberty fell to the Aces in 4 games, Clark connects on a 3.
By starting with Sabrina, then Asia, and finally Caitlyn, Nike may be prioritizing a progression that seems fair and inclusive. It's a compromise between short-term profit and long-term athlete management. They must feel they can afford to be patient to get the optics right. It's worth noting that Caitlyn herself chose to sign with Nike knowing their bench of stars is deep. If she had gone with a smaller brand like Adidas or Under Armour, she probably would already have a signature shoe. She was individually courted by Steph Curry for the UA Adidas, dangling a shoe right away. A less crowded roster might have put her front and center from day one, but Caitlyn opted for the long-term prestige play. Nike is the top of the mountain. While that comes with some internal competition, it also means that when her turn comes, the platform and reach will be massive privately. She might feel a twinge of impatience because who wouldn't want their own kicks right away? However, she also seems savvy. She's said all the right things in public and hasn't shown any frustration because she knows that she is with the greatest of all time.
Get an early 9-point lead. Clark a 3. It is good.
Now, regardless of the politics, if you're a fan of Caitlyn and possibly Nike, there's a bright side to waiting until 2026. As crazy as her rise has been, she's only 1 year into her professional career. What if she wins the WNBA MVP award by then? What if she leads the Fever to a championship? Those are very real possibilities given her trajectory and her team's improvements. After a successful 2024 season, Indiana invested heavily in building a contender around Clark this offseason. Veteran All-Stars Deanna Boner and Natasha Howard, both WNBA champions and two-way forces in free agency, were also added. They kept their own star guard, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlyn's co-star, previous number 1 choice Aaliyah, while trading for sharpshooting guard Sophie Cunningham. Boston will only improve in her 3rd season. This team has depth, size, defense, and experience. Things the Fever lacked prior to ESPN's offseason report card, which awarded Indiana an A and said clearly that these changes might make Caitlin Clark's Fever a championship contender in 2025. The excitement surrounding Caitlin's brand would skyrocket if she were to win MVP or bring a championship to Indiana this season. Beyond its current level, there would be a collective "I told you so" from Caitlin fans all over the world. Although their stock may be declining right now, Nike appears willing to prioritize others and hopes that Caitlin's star continues to rise. However, the truth is that Nike is not going anywhere. They have decades of brand dominance and can afford a slow year or two as they reset their strategy. They most likely know what we all know. When Caitlin Clark eventually receives her special sneaker, it will be unforgettable. If Nike is wise, they will invest all of their resources in design, marketing, and worldwide distribution, which will probably break sales records. Yes, the WNBA and Nike executives are currently working to create the optics of balanced popularity, and that it is more than just Caitlin Clark, and it will be someday, but for now, she is the driving force behind unparalleled interest. Everyone is aware of it, including them. Although it may seem obvious, Nike's decision to withhold her shoe is a risk that may be keeping the ecosystem happy. Hopefully, this will result in even greater benefits for Caitlin, who has been waiting patiently for the Caitlin Clarks to eventually be released. If you believe Nike should have removed Caitlin's shoe sooner, or if you believe they were forced to give in to optics demand, please let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching.